is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, pop culture, sports, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, so excited to have you once again for another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. New episodes dropped weeknights at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of Dallas, Georgia, as well as WDJY FM.com. You can also check us out on multiple streaming and podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also subscribe to our channels, our YouTube channel, our Smooth Club Media. Please do that now. Share with a friend. Leave a comment. Give us some thumbs up. I truly appreciate that. Also, if you are a Rumble subscriber, you can check us out, the Arrington Gavin Show, on Rumble as well. Do the same thing. Share with a friend. Give us a thumbs up. We truly appreciate that. We also are on social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as X, formerly known as Twitter, on at the Arrington Gavin Show. So I truly appreciate that, my friends. Look, we have a lot to unpack within this hour. The big theme will be political corruption and just greed. Really, greed is the theme, because I don't know if you are aware, but recently New York City Mayor Eric Adams was indicted by the FBI and over bribery and receiving certain contributions from foreign companies and groups, and it's not looking good right now. But he did make a statement. He did provide a statement on social media to his to the city of New York, and again, is what kills me is the fact that, look, he's innocent until proven guilty. But let's just be honest: when your full orbit of people are quick to resign or also getting raided by the FBI, something, I'm sorry, but something's not right in my opinion. And for most people who are not a fan of politics, they're like, oh, typical corruption. What else is new? People just trying to get in leadership to align their pockets and fattening their bank accounts. But it makes people that truly want to do good and want to build up their community, makes them look bad. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, we'll throw in some sports in there. That's right. Reggie Bush, he is suing his alma mater, USC, University of Southern California, the Pac-12, as well as the NCAA. We'll talk more about that. Let's see what else we have on our drawing board. Due to the events happening with current New York City Mayor Eric Adams, a former New York leader is actually thinking about making a comeback in politics. Could you guess? Well, you have to stay tuned, and I'll let you know about who that individual is. Also, the one and only Beyonce Knowles. Look, she fails to secure any wins at the most recent People's Choice Country Music Awards, with after receiving 17 nominations. Remember, this was her debut country album, and I think it was called Cowboy Carter, and she failed to receive any wins. Are we shocked? Or are we, saw that coming? Well, we'll talk a little more about this on the program. Again, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show, an unfiltered, unbiased grassroots program. We continue to grow every single day. I truly appreciate it for those who are listening and supporting us. The fact that you, the people, I'm looking at our subscription numbers continue to climb slowly but surely. Also, our viewership numbers and listenerships. I truly couldn't do this without you guys. So I want to thank you. Also, I'd like to thank some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right. I always enjoy a good beverage here and there, especially when I'm fellowshipping and having a great time with my friends and family. Being an avid bourbon and whiskey guy, I usually never change what kind of spirits I'm into. Gin was never my main preference until I tried Ingenious Gin. It is a black owned, veteran owned spirit company, and it has a unique spin of the original gin. So this is a rose gold complexion gin where the average gin is clear. And so that already caught my attention from there. Then I read the story, and then of course, here on this program, we're huge supporters of veterans and small businesses as well. Because myself, I'm a small business owner, and after trying it, man, I'm like, oh, I can't go back. I can't go back. This is I'm adding this to the collection. And sure enough, I have a few bottles in my stash at my home, and even in my office when I have gatherings or anything like that, we grab ourselves a celebratory toast with some Ingenious Gin. So do me a favor, my friends, go ahead, visit your local spirit stores or ABC stores, depending where which state you're in or what area you're in. um and grab yourself a bottle of Ingenious Gin. If you can't find them in stores, look, go visit them on their website, www.ingeniousgin.com. Again, that's www.ingeniousgin.com. For those who are watching this episode, I have provided a 20% off uh, uh, code at the bottom of the screen. So do me a favor, copy that code. You will receive 20% off your purchase. So again, go ahead, try yourself some Ingenious Gin, and please drink responsibly, my friends. Please drink responsibly. And if you are under 21, stay away from it. Because guess what? You're not old enough, buddy. You're not old. 21 and older only. 21 and older only. Let's see what else we got on the drawing board. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll start off with, of course, with our fun fact of the day, and then we get it going with all these crazy stories that we want to chop it up about. So don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your guy, your host, Arrington Gavin. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening to the program. Look, of course, we got to get started all the time with our fun fact of the day here. Today's fun fact is that the northern cardinal is the most popular state bird. Did you guys know that? Did you know? I didn't know. It says here that the Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia all picked it as their favorite species. The Western meadowlark takes second place as the honoree in 6 other states. Now, me being a fellow Virginian, I didn't even know that. Shame on me. Shame on me for not being aware of my history in our state bird. I just sorry. I have a lot of other things to do and worry about. I don't really pay attention at the birds. Sorry for all you bird connoisseurs and bird lovers out there. I'm sorry. I just didn't Didn't know that. But hey, you learn something new every day, especially here on the Arrington Gavin show. So that was our fun fact of the day. Let's get it going with another fun segment I enjoy doing is Arrington's movie review. So this segment I enjoy doing because I get to review films I've recently seen, docu-series, TV series. It's basically just my take on new content projects, because as I always mention here on the program, I feel like sometimes directors and writers, they're wrestling on what content to bring out to America, to the world, not even America, but just to the world. I'm catching a lot of people recycling the same old content, same old topic, same old storyline, and it gets old. It gets old, and it's like, that's the reason why you see people just relying on staying in their house rather than going to the movies and just not even, waiting until the film is out on streaming, because it's like, okay, if it's bad, I don't want to be like I wasted my money on seeing this. So I enjoy watching unique and new projects. Now, mostly docu-series has been catching my attention because I feel as though I'm learning and getting entertained at the same time. And the most recent series I've just finished watching was the docu-series. It's available on Netflix right now. It's called Mr. McMahon. Now, for those who are unaware who Mr. McMahon is, they're talking about Vince McMahon, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He is was the founder of WWF, then turned to WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, and which is now a multi-billion dollar company. You hear me? Multi-billion dollar company. My upbringing, I was a huge, and I still am a huge wrestling fan. I so enjoyed it. And when it came to action figures, all I had was wrestling action figures. I didn't have anything else. I was truly a wrestling fan. And still to this day, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I had the opportunity to interview a fellow WWE Hall of Famer, Ron Simmons, when I continued to, when I started in my radio career. And I never, ever regret it. I had the opportunity to meet Kurt Angle. I had the opportunity to meet so many prominent and popular performers, right? A lot of them are movie stars now. Of course, The Rock is probably the biggest wrestler turn actor. You have Dave Bautista now, that is really doing great in the box office. John Cena is in films now. I mean, so many people are moving from wrestling to films. Anyway, I brought this up because this was about the life of Vince McMahon, the mindset, getting to know him more personally, because you rarely get to see him as a real human being. You always see his character portrayed in wrestling, but you never see him the person. Now, recently, Vince McMahon has faced heavy allegations of sex trafficking, abuse, uh, uh, you name it. It's pretty vicious, which has since then forced him to resign from his position with the WWE, and he is kind of just he's quiet. You don't hear a lot from him now. This documentary was filmed in 2021. Okay, it was filmed in 2021, and so a lot that was said then, obviously, I it wasn't up to speed. It wasn't up to date of what happened recently. So it's a great documentary. So there's a article I want to read you, just giving you a little bit of background about this new Netflix documentary. It's a 6-part series. Mr. McMahon, named after the alter ego character he portrayed on screen in the mid 90s, covers his life, decades long career, and the various scandals that have followed him, as I mentioned earlier. Now, it features with the 79-year-old as himself, as well as family members, former wrestlers, and business associates. Now, the film he pulled out of filming after a former employee accused him of sex trafficking, and some reviewers have said that the series struggles with the missing element. Now, others said it's still a fairly honest portrait and comprehensive, depending on how much you already know know what's going on. Now, I'm gonna talk a little more on the allegations, but just to give you my perspective and my opinion on this docuseries, it was great. What I've learned from Vince McMahon is honestly, he's not truly different from his character. In real life, he acts just like his character. Uh, uh, Egotistic. He's married to his company. He's married to his business. He will do, and he said he'll do whatever he can for the business. He's like, hey, it's business, it's business, it's business. He uses that phrase a lot. It's just business. He will do anything to protect his business. I'm talking even more than his family. Okay, he do whatever, cutthroat, you name it. He would do a figure of speech, but he, uh, uh, uh will stab somebody in the back, and they'll be like so disrespectful, like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Betrayal. What's that? What's up, Vince? It's just business. That's the kind of person he is. He did whatever he could for the business. Now, of course, it was a bit odd in the mid 90s when he got a little more vulgar, uh attitude era. Okay. It was always a lot of like sexual content stuff for not really for small children. uh a lot of the female wrestlers at that time, they weren't portrayed as just for their athleticism. They were always portrayed for their looks, and it was seen back then. They had bra and panties matches, they had bikini contests, everything was showing off their body, it was always a storyline of him having an affair with female wrestlers, or them trying to bribe him with uh with showing off their bodies and stuff. Like, it's really it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, following up with the allegations, it was called, let's just see, Mr. McMahon actually called the series misleading and accused its its makers of taking the predictable path of conflating the Mr. McMahon character with a true self. Now, again, I gave you my opinion. I think it was not a true difference from him and from his character and him in real life. It says here that the billionaire resigned from WWE's parent company at the start of this year when ex-employee uh Janelle Grant filed a sex trafficking lawsuit against him. Now, he denied her accusations as lies and vindictive distortion of the truth. Now, you won't hear much about this case in the documentary, but previously allegations are discussed. It says here that the WWE's first female referee, Rita Chatterton, accused Mr. McMahon of rape, but in the series, he insists that that never happened and it was consensual. Um, he withdrew his defamation lawsuit against her and last year. Reports say that paid her a multi-million-dollar settlement. Also calls the U.S. government, who took him into court on charges of illegal steroid distributions, the biggest bullies. Let's see here. McMahon was found not guilty in that case. Now, as I mentioned, back then, women were portrayed as just sex objects. I'm sorry. They rarely are portrayed then like they were like they are now. Now they're athletes. They're just as popular as the men. Probably no, they're equally as popular. Let me rephrase that. They're equally as popular as the men. They've headlined like a full-on pay-per-view. They have their own women's Royal Rumble. I mean, they are the stars. You hear me? They are the stars. Also says that the women, WWE often faced criticism in the past of the portrayal of women, especially during the so-called Attitude Era, as I mentioned before, between 1997 and 2002. Matches became far less family friendly, with wrestlers frequently see bleeding and female stars competing in bra and panties bouts. So that's just some of the stuff that I'll toss in. I don't want to spend too much time on the segment, but I will say I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's available right now on Netflix. If you haven't, or if you're a wrestling fan, then you probably already seen it. You definitely already seen it. If you are not a wrestling fan, I still recommend to see it because it's very interesting. It's a great docuseries. As I mentioned, it's six episodes. Even if you weren't a fan, everybody knows who Vince McMahon is. Everybody knows who, what pro wrestling is. Like, everybody knows it. Even if you didn't ever watch it, you know what it is. So I highly recommend to check it out, and let me know what your take on is on it. DM me on our Instagram page, or you can shoot us a text. You know the number. And yeah, that is our Arrington's movie review. We're gonna head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have our first story of the day. Don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. What's happening, family? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, first story of the day I want to bring up. In my opinion, soon to be Hall of Famer Reggie Bush, Super Bowl champ, Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush, is suing his alma mater, USC, University of Southern California, PAC-12 conference, as well as the NCAA. He's suing them as he seeks let me bring up this graphic to him. He's seeks NIL compensation from time starring for the Trojans. Now, after hearing about this, I honestly thought everything was smooth sailing and on good on everything is on a good path now with between him and the NCAA, because if you can't recall, it took him the longest to earn back his Heisman Trophy, because at the time there was some complication. I think it was in regards to his dad had accepted gifts, or it was something. I'm not going to backtrack too much of that, but let's just at that time he was really fighting to get his Heisman Trophy back, and everybody, regardless, were like, I mean, you don't need a trophy. We know he earned that Heisman Trophy. You hear me? He earned it. He was a true star, is a collegiate star, and then it led on to a great, successful career. I believe he played between 13 and 14 years in the NFL. But again, compensation over name, image, and likeness during his college career. So this report about Fox News, it shows that, it shares that Reggie Bush, the former U.S. Trojans star running back, is suing the NCAA, his school, and the Pac-12 to recoup the money made on his name, image, and likeness during his career with the football program from 2003 to 2005. Now, Bush's attorneys put out a news release explaining that Bush, the Heisman Trophy winner during the 2005 collegiate season, should be paid to address and rectify ongoing injustices stemming from the exploitation of his name. Now, this case is not, and I quote this. This is quoted from Bush's attorney. This case is not just about seeking justice for Reggie Bush. It's about setting a precedent for the fair treatment of all college athletes. Our goal is to rectify, this injustice and pave the way for a system where athletes are rightfully recognized, compensated, and treated fairly for their contributions. Bush continues to pursue a separate lawsuit against the NCAA for defamation, which was filed last year regarding the organization's 2021 characterization of what led to Bush having to forfeit his Heisman Trophy in 2010. Now, USC was slapped with sanctions that year, which were partly due to Bush having dealings with two sports marketers, which at the time of him playing was against NCAA rules. Now, however, the Heisman Trust restored Bush's trophy earlier this year, returning it to him while pointing out the changes to college sports since he left that level of football following the 2005 season. Now, while Bush has issues with the NCAA, USC being on the lawsuit raised some eyebrows as their relationship seemed to have been patched up in recent years after they decided the school was forced to disassociate with him. Again, Reggie Bush's attorney says, we appreciate that the new administration at USC is trying to pick up the pieces of former administration's unjust and improper handling of Reggie Bush. However, the delay in fixing this speaks volumes. This is going to be interesting ongoing story. Just to give you a little bit about his USC career, his stats has Bush had rushed for 3,169 rushing yards in 3 seasons, as well as a total of 38 total touchdowns. Hell of a career. He then went on the NFL for, I said 13 or 14. He had a successful career in the NFL for 11 seasons, where he was a household name as a Trojan, collecting 1,700 rushing yards in his Heisman winning season, and then led the country in yards per attempts, and then 16 touchdowns on the ground. As I mentioned before, he won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints. 11 seasons. I feel like they got that wrong because I swore I thought it had to be 14, but I'm gonna look that up because I know I swore I thought he played much longer than 11 seasons. Disservice right there, but he's not the only one. There's a former Michigan star, Braylon Edwards and Denard Robinson were among also a few more of the Wolverines who sued the NCAA and the Big Ten network earlier this month for similar reasons as Bush. So it is going to be an ongoing story. I'm always going to be on the side of the professional athletes because universities now, companies like the NCAA, conferences like Pac-12, SEC, ACC, you name it, they're making a crap ton of money on players. All right. And the sad thing is you don't see that going anywhere near the players' pockets. Because look, your talent should be the ones that is getting the most. All right. Not people behind the scenes, but the talent. You have coaches that are millionaires before they even complete 2 seasons of coaching. You had Nick Saban at the time was making like 10 million a year. You have Dabo Sweeney making, I don't know, probably 12, 13 a year. You have Jimbo Fisher. I think he was the highest, making more than Nick Saban. I mean, these coaches are making buku money, and then when they get fired, guess what? It's guaranteed money. They're still owed the rest of their contract. They're making so much money, but yet I see educators making way less. I see players not making anywhere near that, which you're selling their jersey numbers. You're selling this and that. Now, yes, I understand that NIL is now a thing, and I'm happy because now players can fully get compensated, but it's sad because look at the players that came before them. A lot of them could have really used that money. So I appreciate guys like Reggie Bush and the other gentlemen that I named pursuing this because I do think that this will be an ongoing conversation. You can tune into different sports platforms and they will share probably the same thoughts that I have about this. So again, before we end this, Reggie Bush is suing currently is suing USC, the Pac-12, and the NCAA over compensation over his name, image, and likeness during his college career. So you guys can follow more things up with that. And I'm gonna move it on. I'm gonna digress from that and move it on to our next story. So in the entertainment world, Anna Delvey. I don't know if y'all remember who Anna Delvey is. She was a very famous con artist. All right. So let me give you a little background on her. Anna Delvey, she was a con artist and fraudster who posed as a wealthy heiress to access upper class New York social and art scenes from 2013 to 2017. She's originally from Russia. Currently, she's 33 years old. Her criminal status. Let's see. She was released from New York state custody and federal term. I'm trying to see her convictions. She served 5 years in prison. Criminal charge on grand larceny, second-degree larceny, and theft of services. Now, the penalty was 4 to 12 years of imprisonment, $24,000 in fines, and then almost $200,000 in restitution, deportation to Germany. So I say all that to say, this girl's an ex-con. She's a criminal. She's a criminal. She got caught. She's currently still during her time. But the interesting is, and this is just I'm gonna give you this kind of older photo of her. This is kind of like a side by side image between her and actress Julia Gardner, who played her in the Inventing Anna series that's on Netflix as well. You can guys check that out because that's been on there for a long time. Really, really good. It gives it the whole story about Anna Delvey. And my wife and I got to watch that, and all you can say is this girl is a hot mess. She is faking being rich, and it led her to so much access to prominent leaders in big cities all across the world. Overseas, in the United States, it's insane. But she became famous of being a criminal. Last time I checked, that's all she does is she was a criminal. But the crazy thing is, people loved her. She has over 1 million followers on social media. Well, just Instagram alone, she has over 1 million followers. She could have more on Facebook and other platforms, but she has well over 1 million followers. One thing that I did not like at all recently, that she was cast in the upcoming season of Dancing with the Stars. Now, for those who aren't familiar with Dancing with the Stars it's in the name. Dancing with the Stars is a show that brings on celebrities of all stature, sports, entertainment, music, philanthropy, social media, any viral people, gather them, and they compete in ballroom dances. They partner up with a world trained professional dancer, and they compete week after week after week, doing different dances: cha-cha, rumba, the hustle, you name it, foxtrot. They're being judged by professionals, and towards the end, you win a beautiful mirror ball trophy. You had people like Emmitt Smith that were winners. Oh gosh, who else? Not Nick Lachey, but his brother. The show has been on for almost 25 years, maybe longer than that. But the crazy thing is, you know how you see a show that they stretch so long, and it's like, okay, why are you stretching this? You should be ending it right now. Like, it's starting to look a little you're struggling. And so when they went over the list of celebrities this year, you had people like Phaedra Parks, who's from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, attorney, entrepreneur. You had Reginald, I'm forgetting his last name, but he played Carl Winslow in Family. He was a father. He played Carl Winslow in Family Matters. He was in there. Who else was in there? Who else is on it? Dwight Howard. There's a few. I think one of the Bachelorettes is in. They have actual celebrities, right? Actual celebrities. And then I'm like, Anna Delvey is on Dancing with the Stars. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why is she? What makes her a star? Why is she? What makes her a celebrity to come into this show? So we're now bringing on celebrities that are criminals. Is that what it is? To me, that was the ultimate. Like, okay, this is a disservice to true fans of the show, because it's just like you can go viral doing stupid stuff as long as you're up. You were viral. You have how many followers? Oh yes, you got to come on Dance with Stars. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. They did this for only ratings and ratings only. Um, but I feel as though you mess up the character of people that see, okay, this celebrity actually earned their way to be considered a celebrity. She did not earn her way, in my opinion. She did not. And it's funny because it was a kick in the face back to them. Let me find this sound bite, because she recently had got eliminated from the from the show. And so of course she didn't hold back, because she's very, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about other people. All she cares about is herself. And so this is what she had to say recently after getting eliminated. Hold on, let me play the soundbite for you.
What are you going to take away from this competition? Nothing. There you have it. What are you going to take away?
I mean, what are you going to take away from being in this competition? What are you going to take away from that? But nothing. Nothing. Like, a true waste of time having her on this show. I'm happy that she's one of the first few to get eliminated, because she shouldn't have been on the damn show in the first place. Nothing. Like I understand if she truly is like on a full-on apology tour, and just saying, I appreciate the opportunity. What I did was extremely wrong. Share your story. Truly share your story. This girl is still the same old Anna Delvey that got charged for on fraud and the whole 9 yards of theft, all that stuff. That's still the same old, same old. That attitude has not changed, in my opinion. Maybe you're saying, Arrington, you're being a little too harsh. Hey, maybe I am, but I look, I call it like I see it. And what I'm seeing here is a spoiled brat who broke the law, and now because of that, she is now going to be receiving millions of her own fame, fortune, when there's people that truly have amazing stories, that work hard, that are not getting a dime. All right. So what does this teach us in society? That you can become a millionaire and success off of trash, off of doing the worst of the worst. She literally was competing in an ankle bracelet. You hear me? She was competing in the ankle bracelet. Dance with Stars. What I thought Dance with the Stars, being in ballroom, had a little prestige to it, right? I really thought it had a little prestige to it. It's like, hey, look, we're here sophisticating the theme, the story here, the stature, the clothes. Like, no, it's different for her. So I'm happy she got eliminated. I'm very happy. I haven't watched Dance with Stars in so long, literally, because when I heard about this on the news, I'm like, okay, let me check this out a little bit. And yeah, my wife and I checked it out, and I'm just like, wow. Wow. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. Moving on, my friends, to the next story. See how am I doing with time? Yeah, let me move on to this one. So recently, my friends, Beyonce Knowles, Queen Bee herself, was nominated not one, not two, not three, but 17. She received 17 nominations in the People's Choice Country Music Awards. And you know how many awards she won? You want to know? 0. That's right, my friends. Beyonce did not win a award, uh, a award during this award ceremony. Now I know some people are always kind of have mixed feelings with award shows, and I personally, I enjoy them. I look at them as being very accurate. Uh, I think it, of course, benefits their careers. Where it's like, okay, look, it sounds better to say award winning this, award winning that, and and people that receive awards, it they're well deserved, right? It shows that their music or their whatever they do is so successful that they have to be, they deserve to be awarded for that. Now, me personally, I didn't care for the country album that Beyonce put out. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. And I mean, I like country music, have nothing against it. I think she was trying to bring a new twist, which she did in Beyonce fashion. Beyonce is always a unique person. She's never going to give you the same old, same old. Even though sometimes what you're, sound wise, what you're going to get out of Beyonce, but it was very unique. She incorporated country rappers. She incorporated a lot of black country artists, even older generational country black artists that a lot of people might have forgot about, which I truly appreciated because, see, country music is always looked upon as a predominantly white genre, and that was created by white people, and that's not the case now. Right now, it's probably dominated by white people in the white community. If you go to a country music concert, mostly white people. You rarely see minorities there. But if you go back, a lot of country music was brought up from the black community. Okay, Charlie Pride. There was another female that uh uh losing thought on the name, but she was featured in this Beyonce album. Rising stars, in my opinion, you got Kane Brown, Mickey Geisen, Shabuzi, very popular. Um, there's another gentleman, I believe, something Allen, Jimmy Allen, something like that, maybe. Uh, there's a lot of the War and Treaty. Let me tell you something. Husband and wife duo. That is my group right there. They are amazing. War and Treaty. Look them up. Look them up. But a lot of people might have been were shocked of this. I personally wasn't shocked about this. Now, being nominated 17 times and not receiving one, to me, is a bit like a kick in the face to Beyonce. I think that's more personal, in my opinion. A lot of artists, like Post Malone, Shabuzi, had shouted out Beyonce. It says here, this is a article reported by TMZ. It says Beyonce comes up empty at the People's Choice Country Music Award, settles for Shabuzi nod. Says here, Beyonce again went 0 for 17 at the most recent awards, despite for her staggering numbers of nominations and her consolation prize in the on stage shout out from Shabuzi. She also broke a lot of records, by the way, too, on Spotify, different music streaming platforms. It says here that Queen Bee was up for awards than any other, more awards than any other female artist, but she walked away empty-handed, losing categories like People's Artist, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, and Female Artist of the Year. Now, I think this comes to a lot of people weren't happy when Beyonce made the crossover. A lot of people were like, okay, Beyonce, stay in your lane. You don't belong here. Like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And in my opinion, I think that's unfair because artists do it all the time. They cross over from different genres all the time. I don't see people criticizing Taylor Swift from crossing over. She went from country music to pop, and she can flip flop back and forth. So I don't see what's the issue. Artists do it all the time. People need to realize music artists are just true keyword artists. Their talent, their range, their genres go way beyond. They're never stuck in one bubble. Like, that's why I enjoy when I see, say, R&B artists touching gospel, touching rock, touching country. That's a true artist, in my opinion. A true artist. A lot of people that are, again, the predominant fan base of country music are just probably not fans of Beyonce. Okay, that's not the kind of country music they want to listen to. Says here that Beyonce's country album Cowboy Carter, right up there with Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, released as least as far as commercial success goes, but the financials aren't translating to awards. While Beyonce uh, couldn't get off the scene as the award showed rolled along, she was mentioned in an acceptance speech when Shabuzi won New Artist, and well deserved, by the way. A song, a bar song, "Tipsy." Uh, he was also featured on Cowboy Carter's tracks. He thanks Beyonce for being amazing before leaving the stage, and I'm very happy that he acknowledged that. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. I thought that was quite interesting. Again, I at least would have saw maybe 2 or 3, but not winning not a 1 out of 17 nominations. Damn. I don't think Beyonce was happy with that. Now the question is, will she do another country album? Is like, does she learn from this one and is she gonna pursue another one just because she's a very competitive person? She wins a lot of awards. She's the most winningest artist, I want to say, in the Grammy Award history. So what will we see next? What will we see next? It'll be an ongoing conversation. I really don't think this will be the last time I'll talk about this on the show. I might share a little more about this on the next show or on our Instagram page, because I really would like to digress to the topic that I spoke about early in the program, is political corruption. All right, looks like I'm about less than 15 minutes, so I really want to push about this. Political corruption, my friends, is really going rampant in our society, and it's very unfortunate. So recently, Mayor Eric Adams, okay, Mayor Eric Adams was indicted on criminal. Excuse me, he was let me give you the full. He was charged with bribery and accepting foreign campaign contributions. Um, he had then went on to he was indicted by a grand jury. He did come out with a statement to his community, and I'm gonna play this soundbite real quick before I move forward.
New Yorkers. It is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. My fellow New York.
So that was a statement brought from current city mayor Eric Adams. Now, I'll say it like this, because he's innocent until proven guilty. It's just like I said, it's not looking too sharp, in my opinion. When the FBI is involved, and then on top of that, too, a lot of people within his orbit has resigned. Okay, literally several people that has been that homes were raided by the FBI are within the circle of Eric Adams. A lot, like as I mentioned before, there's been some people that have resigned, uh, some high up people, I guess, a part of his administration. He mentioned before about the commissioner, Mayor Eric Adams is a former New York police department captain, and to my knowledge, he's never really had uh 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 a iffy resume prior to running for office. He's always been very vocal, but I just think this is it's something else happening that they're not talking about. So this is from a conservative commentator and former, I believe, political candidate, CJ Pearson. This is what he had to say in regards to the Eric Adams uh, 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 indictment. So let me go ahead and play that soundbite for you, and I'll talk to you on the other side.
Well, by now, I'm sure you've heard the news. Yesterday, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, was indicted by a federal grand jury. And now, according to Polymarket, there's a 68% chance it'll be forced to resign before the end of the year. Now, here's the deal, y'all. Whether or not you think he should resign is actually neither here nor there. I'm actually a lot more intrigued by the fact that the only Democrat mayor of a major city who stood up to the Biden regime for importing millions of illegal aliens into this country is now being indicted by that same regime for not towing the party line, for standing up for himself, his city, and the people that elected him. It seems like a little bit too much of a coincidence to me. But maybe Eric Adams is finally starting to realize in the Democrat Party, there is no room for a black man who thinks for himself. It's unfortunate that he had to learn in such a hard way. Well, by now, I'm sure you've heard the news yesterday.
So that was from CJ Pearson. I will say I've heard him a few times on different platforms, and his side of things. He's very biased, obviously. Conservative Republican, a part of, I think, the new movement of conservative. Agree or disagree, but he shared his point of this whole Eric Adams situation. And I know we have not only liberal viewers, we have independent viewers, we have conservative viewers out there. So that one was mainly for you. But again, looking at this, and I'm running a little low on time, so I will share more. I have a part 2 of political corruption on the next show, but I do want to share this with you before we jet. Former New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo eyes NYC Mayoral Run because of obviously what's happening with current Mayor Eric Adams. Now, let's not recall, Andrew Cuomo did not complete his term as governor. He was forced to resign as well because of allegations of sexual misconduct. And in my opinion, I don't think this is the race for him. I don't think he should attempt a political run, especially when, sir, you as well was being investigated. All right, there was other stuff, and other stuff happening. I think during the pandemic period was also under his watch that a lot of people were just like not a fan of. So this is an article reported by Politico. It says here that Cuomo ramps up mayoral plans after Adams' indictment. Now, it says here the former governor, who resigned 3 years ago, was widely considered a candidate for mayor of New York. It says here the indictment of Mayor Eric Adams emboldening former Governor Andrew Cuomo to jump in the crowded race for New York City mayor. Now, since last year, Cuomo has been signaling to some insiders he was disinclined to run against Adams, given they shared base of predominantly moderate Black Democratic voters. But the Democrats have shifted amid of Adams' deepening legal troubles now, which crescendoed with the unsealing of a 5-count criminal indictment that alleged that the mayor received favors and campaign contributions from the Turkish government in exchange for official actions. It's quoted by former advisor of ex-mayor Michael Bloomberg, as well as Andrew Yang's 2021 mayoral campaign. Chris Coffey says, I think he's going to run. He was probably going to run no matter what, and a weakening or an out of the race Eric Adams is a better bet for him. It says Cuomo have reached out over the last year to New York business and labor leaders about a run for mayor. He previously said he has no plans to make he has no plans to make plans, and that hasn't changed, a spokesperson for Chris Cuomo has said. Now, his political team has laid the groundwork to trying to give Cuomo an aura of inevitable. I'm not going to say that. I had a little tongue twister there because I'm kind of rushing, but it's basically saying he would be sure a winner in a 90-day nonpartisan special election if Adams were to leave office, though the competition would actually be stiff, and Cuomo has the contend with baggage of his own. As I mentioned before, will he win if he runs? I don't think so. Even though he was a governor going up to back to local, even though New York City is a very prominent, one of the most expensive cities to live in, one of the most largest cities in America, he might as well be another, governor. It's like you could be a governor of New York City for crying out loud. But, I just really, it's a shame that we're having these conversations right now when it comes to political corruption, especially during the most crucial election of our time right now. We have a large number of undecided voters. We have a large number of people that are still considering the couch over choosing a candidate. It's stories like this that is the reason why they do so. This whole see this leader promised this, and he is now in trouble for satisfying his own personal gain and not taking care of the people within the community. I'm running low on time, my friends, but again, I do want to expand on the political corruption piece, just to name some other leaders who are currently and this was listed on the U.S. government criminal and ethics cases. As I mentioned, current sitting mayor, New York Mayor Eric Adams, Democrat out of New York, Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican out of Florida, Representative Anthony Despacito, Republican out of New York, former Representative George Santos out of New York, former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez out of New York, Democratic out of New York, Representative Henry Cuellar, Democrat out of Texas. Let's see, Representative Andy Oles, Republican out of Tennessee, Representative Scott Perry, Republican out of Pennsylvania, Representative Jamal Bowen, Democrat out of New York, Representative Troy Nehls, Republican out of Texas, Representative Wesley Hunt, Republican out of Texas, Representative Ronnie Jackson, Republican out of Texas, Representative Sheila Cherfilis McCormick, Democrat out of Florida, Hunter Biden, Democrat, as well as former President Donald J. Trump. Those are just some of the names of people that have been involved in ethics cases and U.S. government criminal and ethics cases. Those are just some of the names right there. That's a lot of names, but on the next show, I'll explain exactly more and what their cases involved, and seeing if there's like a pattern again that happens when it comes to politics in our society. My friends, I am running low on time. That's what happens when you're having fun talking with your friends. But do me a favor, continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, available on all podcast platforms as well as streaming platforms, Rumble, YouTube, and check us out on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m., as well as WDJYFM.com. Be sure you are registered to vote. This is a crucial election, my friends. So please vote. I will see you next time, my friends. Peace and God.